Welcome back to the Smugsy Show. I'm Smugsy, your host. Almost every Wednesday we meet here to talk about important things and important people. This week it's why I'm cutting Ed Cooley some slack, the meanest, dirtiest girls at Barstool Sports, my favorite nips, and unfortunately a bump in the road on the way to the Kirk Minihane Show at the State Theater in Portland. So first, Ed Cooley, former coach of the Providence Friars, now coach of the Georgetown Hoyas. People are pissed, okay? They feel betrayed. Dave Portnoy, he's organizing a concert at Lupo's Heartbreak Hotel in Providence, Rhode Island, for the fans who feel betrayed to come together and have a fuck Ed Cooley concert. Well, I'm on board. Count me in. But I do want to say, as much as I understand the rage and the feelings of betrayal by the Providence fans, who now we know were totally hosed. I mean, talk about stabbed in the back. They really were really fucked over. I mean, there's really no way to sugarcoat it. But there's always two sides of the story, and let's face it. Have you seen that Friars mascot? That Friar Dom mascot? It is freaky, okay? It's really freaky. It's disturbing, and it freaks the fuck out of fans, and it freaks me out. I mean, it's like an albino monk that looks like the devil. And so Ed Cooley's had enough. I mean, he's had enough of Friar Dom, and it wasn't always that way. Before there was Friar Dom, they had Friar Boy, a Dalmatian. Okay, the Providence Friars mascot was a normal dog mascot, which, let's face it, is normal. Okay, that monk is abnormal. So Ed Cooley going to Providence is perfectly understandable in my book. But I'm going to the concert. First of all, I love Lupo's. I went to Lupo's like all the time when I was in high school. Saw Steppenwolf live there, okay? You know, the Steppenwolf, the band. You don't know. Magic Carpet Ride. Okay, imagine the intro to that song live. The floorboards just kind of gyrating with people dancing, and it was just awesome. So I love Lupo's. I'm going to the fuck Ed Cooley concert no matter what, hands down. It's aptly named because Ed Cooley is a potty mouth. He says fuck all the time. Did you know that? If you ever sat behind him at a game, that's all you hear. It's like a machine gun of the F-bomb. He can't help it. It's like diarrhea of the mouth, but the F-bomb. So that's another disability. And plus he's got his mental problems with the mascot causing, I think it's a post-traumatic stress disorder kind of thing from that mascot. So I'm going to cut him some slack, but I am going to go to the concert, and I hope to see you there. And speaking of potty mouths, I just wanted to comment briefly on the ongoing drama at Barstool Sports between Kelly Keegs and the Mean Girls podcast. First noting, of course, that Mean Girls, the movie, directed and written by Tina Fey, is an American classic, and I take offense at these Barstool girls naming their podcast their stupid, dumb podcast after such a great movie. But I'll forgive them, okay, because that's who I am. But let's face it, the admission by these mean girls that they don't wash their hands after they go to the bathroom is kind of weird. And I think what's really shocking is that this Alex Bennett now we know is kind of like a walking hepatitis. I mean, Typhoid Mary and Content Kim, her mother, we know the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So, I mean, let's face it, she doesn't wash her hands. And did you see the father on the plane? Sweaty as all get out. So they're gross. But, you know, it's not really about that. I think what it's more about is Kelly Keegs having father issues because she wants attention from Dave Portnoy. And so she made up this thing that's kind of fake feminism, if you will, because she's saying that Alex and Jordan aren't smart enough. But really she's holding them to a double standard, because everybody at Barstool Sports is pretty dumb. Not everybody, but most of the podcasts are very dumb. Okay, very, very dumb. Like stupid. I mean, really dumb. So the fact that this Mean Girls is stupid, it's, well, yeah, but that's, so what, they're held to a different standard. Why? Because they're women? So Kelly Keegs, she's pulling this, they're not smart enough, they're making women look bad, but then she herself is holding them to a double standard. So the move for Alex, okay, Alex Bennett, if she ever calls her mother that pig, I mean, my God. Well, the move then is to, first, you got to challenge her. Okay, you got to get in where Kelly really plays, and that is at the Rough and Rowdy. Okay, Rough and Rowdy, no gloves. Or you could sue her for discrimination. But I would say the Rough and Rowdy is much better for content, and I guess questions have to be raised about whether we have to warn Cupcake. You know, the poor single working mother who got the shit beat out of her by Alex Bennett in West Virginia, and now who knows, maybe she's dying someplace of some disease because Alex didn't wash her fucking hands after going to the bathroom. I mean, this could be big, but it's probably going to blow over, because deep down we know that really who Alex Bennett is by what we know, not only about the fact that she doesn't wash her hands. Okay, this is America. Okay, you can do whatever you want, really, except not only did the evidence come out that she doesn't wash her hands after she goes to the bathroom, but that she fakes it. She turns the water on so that other people think she's washing her hands, which to me, it's just like, how small of a person? You can't own the idea that you don't wash your hands. You have this argument that you don't need to because you're dumb. And then, so I think ultimately Alex and Jordan will just learn the hard way that, Kelly Keegs, cutthroat, and maybe I think you probably will learn the hard way when you get like some communicable disease and lose all your teeth. That would be a good way to learn. So then let's just now talk about another culture war. And that is, of course, I'm referring to the incident that's just buzzing around Boston. Chris Curtis on the Greg Hill Show apparently was asked what his 5 top nips were, and some people would reasonably interpret the nips in that question to be the small 1-ounce bottles of alcohol that you see people drinking and driving and they throw out the window. Well, in a quip, this guy, Chris Curtis, who's a radio personality, responded, well, one of his top nips would be a beautiful journalist named Kimes. And the reason why I'm confused is because Mina Kimes is her name, and she is not only beautiful, but went to Ivy League schools, wildly successful, has a sinewy, very muscular body, and nice curves. Well, another beautiful journalist happens to be named Mila Kunis. So when Chris Curtis was accused of being insensitive and making a racial slur when he said that one of his top nips was Mina Kimes, because Mina Kimes is Asian and nip is an ethnic slur, the radio company responded, no. What he meant to say was Mila Kunis. And so, in fact, it wasn't a racial slur. It was just referring to nipples, obviously. And this is really, I think, consistent with this horny bro political conservative movement that apparently the New York Times is documenting. And maybe you saw the article this week in the Sunday Times. Nice article, I thought, about Barstool Sports, but a little bit off the reservation on political theory, but good try. And the horny bro party apparently being people who are just libertines and they believe anything goes, especially sex. So the nipples and the two, I think, are perfectly acceptable. But what I like, and the reason why I'm talking about it, is that Mina Kimes is one of my favorite nips too, because she took it with such stride. Other people brought up these were insensitive racial slurs, and she took it the way it should be taken, which is to recognize, obviously, he wasn't making a racial slur because he's too dumb to know that that word is a racial slur, and instead was referring to her nipples. And she didn't mind. And so she changed her avatar on Twitter to look like Mila Kunis. So kudos to Kunis and kudos to Kimes. They handled that situation, I think, in a really good way that maybe Kelly Keegs and Alex Bennett and Jordan could learn from, perhaps. So, the Kirk Minihane Show is this Saturday, March 25th at the State Theater, which is just down the street. And this show is scheduled to cover it, and I'm totally psyched. However, we've had, unfortunately, a major problem, and it's this. Do you see this? I mean, what do you do with this? So, I have, my outfit is an emerald sequin slip dress, mini, and so I need tall black suede boots, and this is what I get. This is what you get now from Bloomingdale's. I mean, I can't, so I mean, obviously, if I don't have the right boots, I can't go. So we're working like around the clock to get the boots, and if you see me at the show, you'll know why. But we'll see. It's out of my hands. I mean, come on. I don't know what's wrong with this country. You can't get a nice pair of high suede boots. So I hope to see you there. Stay tuned and look for me. And until next time, this is Smugsy Girl signing off.